got Muscular. We replaced Peasy with Vince Nardone. For those who are curious to know, this is Vince Nardone, the voice that was heard 2 weeks ago in Papineau.
What's up?
Not much, Vince.
What are you doing?
Vince is subbing in for Peasy until he comes in.
You look sad. Why are you so sad?
I don't know where Peasy is.
Peasy's on vacation. He lives 4 minutes away from here.
And now here he is.
Thank God. Get over here.
Peasy's in. It's sort of like that fourth liner coming in for the first liner. The first liner now in the game. Hey, Peasy.
How's it going?
How's it going?
What did you see this week?
Yeah, well, first of all, let's do this properly here. Welcome to the Audible podcast with Division E, Peasy Delarizzi, Hunger Games, and of course, Pokemon himself, Eagle.
So, Mo, whether you're Vince Nardone or Pease Del Reese, where can you get your jerseys for next season?
You can get them from here, Sportira, the official proud sponsor of the 2016 FPF podcast, of course, proud sponsor and finals t-shirt provider for all the champions that we'll have in 3 weeks' time. Sportira, head on by the website and start looking ahead for your next uniforms for the winter 2017 year. Well, if your mic goes on, Eagle,
You're on mute, Eagle.
Fail.
You
Man,
can
the worst
also get a Voltorb
producer.
and a Squirtle.
What? Vulture by the Squirtle?
Voltorb and Squirtle's here.
These are references to the Pokemon stuff. Okay, we wasted 10 seconds on that, so we're back to
Hi.
Hello, good
How are
morning.
you, Mo?
Good evening. Welcome to the Audible Division Audible. I've lost track. This Pokemon thing's got me all screwed up here. PC Del Reese and Mocon, let's recap Week 9, talk Week 10 here. PC, you and I, we were in attendance for Papineau Monday Night Football.
Absolutely.
That was. Let's talk about that game that we both witnessed. May have been overplay, but a big win nonetheless, though, for Gronky Kong
Yeah.
as they upend Crusaders.
It's not overplayed, first of all, because A, it keeps them alive.
Yes.
B, it's the second win in their franchise career. Let them enjoy that, man. That's
and
amazing.
longest winning streak ever. In franchise
Longest winning
history
streak
at 2.
of two.
Of
Notice
two.
Chapman, who was on the roster, who was not playing that game.
Antonio
so.
Diversa, yes.
I
Maybe-
played one game.
Maybe we know you obviously weren't there for the wins, so therefore they know how to build a roster and they know who to get rid of at the right time in the season.
Well,
They're
peaking at the right time,
Doesn't say
though.
much about you. You keep adding me to your rosters.
that's true, right? No, they beat the Crusaders this time around. And what I did see was, first of all, I mean, I want to give Gronky Kong a praise before I dump all over Crusaders, but I'll start with Gronky Kong. Francois Martin actually almost threw the game away. Other than that, he played like a remarkable game, but he threw an interception. They're up by 12. There was a pick six in the opposing red zone. He didn't even have to complete a pass. He could have thrown 4 balls into the ground, and the game was pretty much locked up.
Yeah.
For a veteran quarterback, it was surprising to see him make that mistake. I also wanted to draw attention to Aramo Petruccelli. He had 2 touchdowns this game. He had 1 interception. He was in addition to last week, so he's been there for the 2 games they've won. A big piece of his team. Great athletes. Really smart and instinctive player as well.
Looking at Crusaders, they are now officially out of the playoff race. They will not be playing for postseason action. They'll have 1 more game left. I thought that when they scored, and it was about, I think, a minute or so left in the game, they didn't exercise their timeouts when they should have
Yeah.
to keep at least the time on the clock and maybe perhaps get back the ball with 2, if not 3 plays left.
Organization's the issue with this team. Well, they didn't understand when the importance of calling the timeout then, and instead let the clock go down to 5 plays. The next thing is that with regards to Crusaders is we saw their defense lining up in all sorts of strange formations, giving away who was
1-2-2.
dropping. Just giving away who was going to be where on the field, and then everyone just sort of watches the quarterback and plays really passive. And then on offense, there's so many packages where they have receivers in the backfield, and that doesn't work in FPF. Like they need help. They need someone to come in there and lead this team, because that's what's missing in this team is leadership.
Imagine if they try that in Division A or B.
They'll get crushed.
Oh,
but
God.
they're learning, and with any luck, they'll get there one day.
I saw the Roadrunner Lehiwar game. This was a big game because both teams needed the victory to put themselves in playoff position. The Roadrunners get that with the 27-18 victory over Lehiwar. This was a game of defense. 2 pick sixes returned for a touchdown by the Roadrunners, but they played a very good defense. They used the Lehiwar formula against them, and it just felt like that they were just the more dominant team from the first half. It was close for a while, but they pulled away in the end here. But this was a big win for the Roadrunners because now they put themselves in great position to be in a higher seed of the playoffs. But for Lehiwar, which we'll talk about their playoff hopes, this was a damaging loss for them because now they're behind the 8 ball with 1 week to go.
Yeah, and Leeward are a team that got off to a decent start, so it's frustrating to see how they've struggled late in the season. As for Roadrunners, I like that they can win these tough games, but they need to be able to pull away. Like, second half, they hold Leeward to 6 points, and they weren't able to put up more than one extra score. I'd like to see them really have more of that killer instinct moving forward. Mo, I was actually there to watch the Smoke and Axles and TDs and Beer upset. Although
Was it really an upset, though?
I was going to say I don't really consider it an upset because we've kind of seen this game coming for TDs and Beer, and we'll talk about their schedule a little bit later in the show. But for the Smoke and Assholes.
Assholes. Oh, hey, Freudian slip.
Well, it's not Freudian. I've been kind of implying it all season. But honestly, they're a great defense for Division E. They're really organized, smart, intelligent. They make jumps on balls and they shoot gaps the way that you don't normally see in Division
Right.
E. And Brad Evans was baited by that by Stefan Fens, who had a great pick, and Evans looked lost. Like once he got the punt and then a 4-and-out, then that interception. All of a sudden, TDs and Beer didn't look nearly as good as they had all season, and Brad Evans kind of looked like a deer in headlights.
And again, we'll talk about the TD and Beer's angle of where they stand moving into the playoffs because they are not peaking at the right time when they have to, given that they are going to be one of the favorites to come out of their conference in about 10 days' time when we start the tournament. Another game that caught my attention, which was a fascinating game, was the Warriors versus the Trinity. Now, when you look at this game here on paper, it seems like it's a mismatch. They end up winning 27-14, the Warriors, that is. But Michael Suleimani had 5 INTs. He had 4 of them in the first half. His first 8 passes, 4 were INTs.
But Trinity's a very good defense. Like, for all their struggles, it's never been that their defense is not playing
But
well.
on the flip side of it, though, Alex Jumonville was the quarterback for Trinity. And I asked him, I go, why the switch? He goes, I'm a little bit faster. And he said it in a very, very calm.
Jean-Felix Marquis' line in this game, 10 for 14, 49 yards. So the yards aren't impressive, but 10 for 14. Obviously, he was completing passes, playing very efficiently. That efficiently would have helped them just with the amount of with all the extra possessions they had.
For sure.
Honestly, it's a weird time of the season to change quarterback when Trinity's fighting for a playoff spot. I don't know. I don't get that change. I don't get putting in Jumonville. But, stick to your guns. And the only way Marquis is going to get better is by giving him snaps.
Only positive to come out of the game for Trinity, their new white uniforms brought to you by Sports Hero.
There we go.
There you go. Exactly.
I actually got a message from Jordan Allard about his game where Dirty Mike and the boys upset your Tigers. Your Tigers, Mo.
Yes, my Tigers.
And the score looks a little bit closer than it was. It was 28-26, but Dirty Mike and the boys pretty much led the whole game. And when I spoke to Jordan, he said, well, the new guys are starting to get it and starting to fall into place.
Yeah.
And we see that with Dylan Segal and Olivier Sutter. Both had 5-6 catches coming into the game, and Segal having 5 catches and a touchdown, and Sutter having 1 touchdown. I'm pretty sure Segal, which is possibly the greatest name in FPF
Segal
history. So Dylan
There's
Segal.
some good names, by the way, in Div E. By the way.
All the best names are always in Div E,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
led by Dylan Segal, who I'm all of a sudden very frightened by. On the other side of the ball, Rahul Mohan, only 8 completions in this game.
Not good.
Not good at all. Not good at all. And I mean, Dirty Mike and the boys, their defense has been spotty at times.
Yeah.
But Jordan is an experienced player, Jordan Allard, and he knows how to lead his defense. And we saw them just suffocate the Tigers in this game.
Last game that I saw, probably the best game because of the intensity brought by both teams. Your Spartans went 26-18 over Rolling Thunder in a very close game. It was 18-18 at one point, and then the Spartans pulled away in the last 5 minutes with a safety and then a touchdown to seal the deal here. But there is good if they get to the tournament, the Rolling Thunder, if they do get in, if it ends up being that they somehow play Spartans at some point, I would pay to watch this game again because they were going at it.
Luckily, we don't need to. The
No,
games are free. We can walk
we
in.
get it for free, except for the fans. But it was a great game. The intensity was there. The fans from both sides were tripping each other. Albeit there's 12 in total, but nonetheless it was fans. It brings up the question, which we'll get to our next segment here. But for the Spartans, though, another close game. Last week they tied Lehuard, and now they won a very close game here. And you wonder now, are they sort of faltering at the most inopportune time of the year, given that we thought this is a great team from week 1 through week 7.
So 12 angry men in the stands. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, there's some females though.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
12 angry females.
Yeah.
Honestly, the thing with Rolling Thunder is, I've said it all season long, Mo, this is the team with probably the best athletes in Division 1.
Jeremy D, the quarterback, and of course
Jeremy
Dexter
D,
Linton.
and Dexter Linton, the Santomo's on
Santomo.
the team. There's another.
Potamus.
Sorry?
Potamus.
Potamus is good, and
Yeah.
there's even Daniel Bornstein, the Bornstein identity. He's pretty awesome. I put that one in there for you, Chapman. I know
Thank
you're
you.
a fan of the trilogy, or the quadropoly as it is
It's
now.
going to happen at the end of July.
Can't wait. Looking forward to the movie.
But the thing is that as for the other side of it, though, like, I mean, I want to answer whether or not they're faltering, but that's also the next question, Mo.
Which
So
we'll
I'll-
talk about right now.
Nice! Next question
Nice segue.
time. It is next question time with Mokan.
Oh,
Look, they're not faltering. They won the game.
But they weren't good. Pete, watching them play, they looked rattled. There was one play where the referee called it right, where I forget who from Rolling Thunder got to James Danger in the end zone, and he just underhanded the throw. Like, he rushed that throw out of his hand so quickly. It just felt like they just got like spooked by them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, and you know, the Spartans, they play off emotions. They love that emotion breed and becoming that team that sort of intimidates you with your chants. There was no chant. They weren't really in the game until late in the second half of that football game. Martel comes in, does his thing. I know they were missing guys off the roster, but this was a game that really puts me in that caution mode with them, whether or not they're going to be an early out or maybe a deeper team that might go very far in the playoffs.
The thing is, that's kind of like they live and die by the sword, so to speak.
The deep ball. It's a deep
feel
ball.
so dirty. I did the Mokan thing, man. I keep doing that. I keep dropping these like metaphors that mean nothing. Anyway,
It's deep ball. That's what they go with, man.
But the thing is, like, the deep ball is not something that most Divi teams defend well, because a lot of Divi offenses don't do it well, so they get away with defending it poorly for weeks and weeks at a time. So that can actually be a weapon in the offense. If that's what they're comfortable with, go with it. And aside from that, James Andrew is comfortable enough saying to his defense, go out, give me a couple of extra possessions, I'm going to take some shots.
But
You know?
the thing is, it's like teams. I don't think teams fear James Dandridge's short game. If it's 3rd and 1 with 4 plays left, and
gonna
they're
gun
down,
it.
and they're down by whatever it is, 6 points, and they
But
need
that works in all divisions more. I remember the first season I played with Fred Morris in Division 5. It was 4th and 1. He called fly 10-yard out, post 12-yard hook. And I was like, we need a yard. But he's like, well, they're not going to cover that. So
Yeah, but
you
not,
know what I mean?
not
Like, the
everyone's
teams-
Fred Morissette, though. He's a quarterback coach. He's a
But
quarterback
yeah, that's
player.
fine though. But I'm saying that more than that, what it was the unpredictable. And it's still, I guess, it's predictable in a sense when the guys like to go long. But you still, in the back of your mind, don't want to give up an easy 1 yard catch. So why not? You know what I mean? If you're if that's your game, if that's what got you to, what are they, 9-0-1 or 8-0-1?
8-0-1, yeah.
I mean, if that's what got you there, go with it. Go with it.
At the end of the
Unless
day,
if they're taking it away, fine. But it clearly, wasn't the case, because they did score 3 times in the first half.
at the end of the day, Alexei Bissett only factored in late in the half, and he had a bigger game in the second half than anything else. So looking at the Warriors and seeing where they're at, I mean, Mike Slameni threw 5 INTs.
Yeah, that was
that's
tough to watch.
ugly. And again, Peasy, I've watched this team play now 2 or 3 times. I think 3 times now, and they have not impressed me on offense. Their defense is good, and they could very well win with their defense early on in the rounds of playoffs here. And it looks like your iPad's gone off.
Apparently,
But
it's still on.
But
Oh,
now
there
it's
it
back
is.
up.
It's back up.
with
Here
the
we go.
apps. But I really worry about them right now, Peasy, with the fact that the offense looks so lethargic. And
Yeah.
if they play a better team, and Peasy, you know the playoffs, man, funny things have happened, and it could very well happen if he does that again, 5 INTs, they will lose and be one and done.
And the thing is FPF's an offensive game. The whole defense wins championships thing, nope. It's usually the best offenses that win in FPF, and they're gonna need to find some rhythm once the playoffs hit. And they're a large roster.
Yeah.
That's what worries me, is I think they're not using their best athletes in best spot. Come playoff time, you need the balls to tell one of your guys, hey, look, I need you to sit because we need this drive right now, so I need to put this guy in. And that's, I think, what's holding their offense back, is they're just 2 nice guys.
TDs and beers, again, last 2 weeks, not really impressive. Do you worry about them now with 1 week to go before the real season begins for them?
This is the only team of the three listing mode that I feel that it's worrisome because TDs and Beer have had strong seasons with sort of late difficulties and trouble in the playoffs, and Brad Evans' style tends to get stifled as he plays better and better teams. Look, they're a good enough team that when they're facing off against, like for example, we look at their schedule, they're facing off against Face Jazz or Dirty Mike and the Boys or Permian Panthers, they're going to win those games.
Yeah.
But in the playoffs, you don't have those games.
Right.
In the playoffs, you might get one of those games if you're a top seed, but then from that point on, every game is contested, every game is difficult.
Out of the three right now, PZ, if you were to rank in 1, 2, 3, more likely to get bounced early in the playoffs. TDs and Beers 1,
Yes.
and then number 2, Warriors and Spartans.
Yeah, exactly in that order.
I think I have Spartans 1.
Really?
Even though I like him, I just think that right now,
Man,
James
but they could
Andrews
put up
got proved
points.
me. But PZ, it took them till the end to beat a team like they did in the Rolling Thunder. The Rolling Thunder has
But Rolling
nobody.
Thunder have great athletes. They don't have nobody.
The
They don't have a
quarterback can't throw a 2-yard pass.
That's true, but they have incredible athletes. They have Div 2 level athletes in the team.
You would hope. They have Division I NCAA players on the
They
roster
do.
who played in the Big 12 against Oklahoma.
He did.
Can't
Ultimately,
play.
it's about the matchups, though, right?
Every playoff game is
It
about
has
the
to
matchups.
be. All right, who has a chance? We'll talk about the teams other than these three here. Who has a chance? Does Victoria's Secret have a chance to hold serve and keep the 8th spot in the playoffs moving forward?
What has to happen? Jesus Christ, Eagle, we do this every week. It doesn't matter if we see that they can see it.
They
it
see
doesn't
it.
matter. Unless you're offering an option in Braille, it doesn't matter.
I feel bad for those watching the podcast.
All right, so
the audio
Hunger Games,
version
can
only, they
you-
get to see nothing.
Hunger Games, can you explain to us then what's going
Go
on?
ahead, Eagle. Please tell us.
Yes, Eagle, please tell us. Or Hunger Games, whoever wants
I don't
to.
want
The
to.
current standings are on the screen.
Explain to
Thank
the
you.
viewers then who don't understand the color coding numbers that we
Or to
have
the
on the screen.
colorblind.
Green, you're in. Red, you're out. Yellow, you still have a chance.
So Victoria's Secret right now is holding serve with the 8th spot. Do they keep it? Yes or no? Who's below them? Who's above them right now?
So you have Victoria's Secret in 8th spot.
Yes.
You have Rolling Thunder in 9th.
Yep.
Lazy Rod in 10th. And Gronky Kong in 11th.
Those are the three teams. Those are the three teams we're looking at right
So
now.
Victoria's
currently
Secret, if they
elite
win, they're
standing.
in.
Yes, but right now, do you think they hold serve, or do you think Rolling Thunder, Lehuard, or Grand Kong all have a chance to get in?
I think, look, if Gronky
you,
Kong's
Eagle.
team is there, they have a better team. They have in their top 5 players, they have a core for a Division D team playing in Division E.
Okay.
As for now, the biggest issue, of course, has been that not all their players are always there. There's been injury issues and so on. So, if all their team is there, I don't like this game for Victoria's Secret at all. They're playing a team that's come off 2 emotional wins and is fighting for a playoff spot. And Victoria's Secret has only really beaten the teams that have also struggled. Like
Yeah.
we look across the board, and losing this week to Sutan Clan, but they did beat Crusaders. They did beat Leeuwar, who were also fighting for a playoff spot, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not a good spot at all.
My concern for Gronky Kong is who will be eligible for playoffs. Number of players who play on this roster here. I think Rolling Thunder, again, that type of loss, if they had won that game against Spartans, I think they would have had the momentum needed to be one of those tougher outs in the playoffs here. Leeuward, I just think that their sales now have gone the other way. I just don't know they have enough firepower to keep up with them. I
Well,
think
that's the thing is if Leeuwar lose and Rolling Thunder lose, I believe that's how Gronky Kong gets in.
yes, they've Eagle, you about to chime in on this?
I was just going to say Lazy Rod have 2 wins because of a tie. And because of that, they would actually lose in any tiebreak scenarios immediately, right? Because it goes points, then wins. In a 2-way tie, it goes head-to-head. Then divisional percentage win, and then points against.
Eagle, since I'm not looking at the screen, Gronky Kong are listed as having 4 points, right? Because on the website, they're
Correct,
1 and
yes.
7, which is incorrect.
No,
Fun,
they're
right?
2 and 7.
I'm looking at
2
the
and
website
7.
currently. It says 1 and 7, which is incorrect. I want to make sure our playoff standings are correct.
Oh boy, we
They
gotta
are.
get that corrected.
They have 2 wins. They have 4 points.
I see 1 and 7.
Yeah, that's wrong.
I know that's what.
Oh,
That's
boy.
exactly what I'm saying.
that's,
I'll have to check that up on the score sheets.
we shall check that. Yeah, because
Yes.
I know they won this week.
I was there at the
Yeah,
game they
yeah,
won
we,
this week.
We all saw that game. They won that week.
Actually, yeah, Molcon and I
Yeah.
were spectating.
Yes.
Yeah, if they win and they get into a
easy.
3-way tie, I'm pretty sure
2
they
and
jump
7?
in. If they get into a 2-way tie, it would depend on previous matches.
I
Well,
think you didn't refresh it from like last week
I
because 1 and
think-
7's only 8 games played.
Yes, it looks like
2-7 by Gronky Kong. I was on the wrong tab on the Flight Plus page.
could Dirty Mike sneak into the playoffs. If they win, who is the team that's going to be on the outside looking in? Because right now, Dirty Mikes are on the outside. So they're going to jump someone if they do end up making
Dirty
the
Mike
playoffs.
is on the inside, aren't they not?
Could we get the playoff updates, please?
No, Dirty Mike is sitting in 9th at 6 points.
So that's it. They're on the outside now.
That's what
Fourth,
looking
sixth,
in.
7th, 8th with 8 points.
So who from the inside looking out would be?
Man. And Dirty Mike. See, I like that they play well, but they did play an inconsistent team in Tigers. Their last game this week is against Jaggies and Chill, which I don't like that matchup for them at all. I think they lose this week. I think that Victoria's Secret loses this week. Who else is in? Who else is involved?
At the present moment, yes, Hunger Games.
And then Gronky Kong, right?
Yes.
Oh, and then no, but there's also the other conference where Lehuard are playing, and Lehuard face
They play, I believe, STC this week. Oh, no, they play
Warriors.
Warriors, my apologies.
Oof, man, so Gronky Kong or Victoria's Secret are the
Yeah.
most probable. It looks like that's pretty much going to be a play-in game because I think the other matchups are very difficult. I want to say that the team that jumps in would be Gronky Kong because I expect them to beat Victoria's Secret.
Oh, we'll find
Although
out.
I mean that's funny when you
Yeah.
think about it. They had 0 wins 2 weeks ago, right?
I know. It's
So-
they're almost on the cusp of going into the playoffs, doing the unthinkable here. Moving up, moving down here. We'll talk about teams who are now in playoffs, who are going to be going to the tournament. STC, Roadrunners, Zhangyi, Trinity. They're all separated by 2 points. Could we see a rise and tumbling of teams in this quartet of teams that we have right
Who do we
now?
have? STC.
Roadrunners,
So Sutan Clan, Roadrunners,
Zhangyi, and Trinity.
Zhangyi, and Trinity.
Yes.
Zhangyi's been tumbling down. They look like they're doing exactly what they did last season, and they face Sutan Clan this week. That's a tough matchup, so I don't see that happening. Sutan Clan, they can't really move up, so they're locked into that spot pretty much. No, I think it's pretty much set.
Could Beast Mode go from a 5 seed to the 8 spot if they tumble down? You're Beast Mode because
My
right
Beast
now
Mode.
they're sort of in the position that right now they're okay at 5, but they can end up being an 8 seed when it's all said and done once Week 10 is complete by next Tuesday night.
Again, it's about the matchups, and they have sort of the pleasure of playing Face Jazz, a team that's only scored 113 points so far this
Yeah.
season. Jonah Cohen is averaging about 2 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
Not Jonah Cohen. I'm thinking of his teammate Eddie Rousseau is managing about 2 touchdowns.
And they
a
got
game.
crushed on Tuesday.
And
by
they
Aliens.
haven't been getting. When they lose big. So that bodes well for Beast Mode. I think Beast Mode stays in 5 or moves higher.
All right, let's mock the playoff scenarios very quickly here, PZ. Let's talk about potential matchups that could happen once we have this all said and done by Week 10 here. PZ, Hunger Games, pardon me. Can you just give us currently the number 1, number 2, number 3 standings as we speak?
In both conferences?
Both
or?
for conversation first.
First, okay, so it's Les Bonhommes Jaunes,
Yeah,
TDs and Beer,
yeah.
and number 3 are Smoke and Axles.
And now from 4 to 6 is
Aliens, Beast Mode, and Super Troopers.
and 7 and 8.
Is going to be Tigers and Super Troopers, Tigers, and Jaggies and Joe. This is weird. I missed one.
Second.
I missed one.
Wait
I
a
missed
minute.
one.
There's 9 teams, but there's 8.
Next is Aliens.
Say, okay, this is going to be a really good matchup to watch in the first round of the playoffs. I think anything involving the Tigers versus whoever they face.
Yeah, just because. But the thing, see again, Tigers are so matchup based because they're just games will be outclassed. You know what I mean? So if they end up facing a team like Super Troopers, great. If they end up facing a team like Smoke and Axles, that's not going to be a good game for them at all. You know what I mean? So
No.
like, it really. It's tough to say what's going to be the best matchup because if things stay as they are, yeah, you know what, that's one thing. But if you end up paired against a team you don't expect, then man, that's going to be difficult. And I think that's the issue with Tigers is. I see on the other hand, I see Smoke and Axles being interesting because I see them being that annoying team that we look at them. They don't seem to have a lot of top end talent.
Yeah.
But man, that team defense is stifling.
Right.
So anyone they play will be interesting.
LBJ has who right now? Hunger Games.
Jaggies and Chill.
That's a tough matchup. I think
Yeah,
they win that, but
it's-
it'll be tough.
It's probably the only team in Conference A that Lebanon will be challenged by just because the amount of athleticism on Jaggy
Yeah.
Mitchell. But just the inexperience at quarterback for Jagies and Chill will be difficult against Les Bonhommes Jaunes, who have a ridiculous defense. I can't see a scenario where Jean-Félix Dalloz can get through that. Can get by that defense.
Right. Conference B, quickly here, Hungry Games.
So B, in the 1, 2, 3, you have Spartans, GYR, and then the Warriors. 4 through 6 is Soutang Clan, the Roadrunners, and Jean-Guy.
Yeah.
And then 7 is Trinity, and then 8 you have Victoria's
So
Secret.
Trinity would play GYR, correct?
Yeah.
I think that's a great matchup for GYR.
That's gonna be a what's it called, an
barn
upset.
burner.
It's gonna be an upset because
You think so? I think it's a
Yeah.
great match for GYR.
I don't know, man. Because GWR, like, they're good, and PJ Bellick has been solid, but he has these games where he just makes mistakes. And Trinity's defense, we saw it this week, even in the game where they lost.
Yeah.
Like, they're not a team you can make mistakes against this quarterback.
The 4-5 matchup is who right now? Hungry Games?
Soutang Clan versus the Roadrunners.
And that could flip, but that would be a
That'll
very
be
tough
good.
matchup.
That'll be a good game.
That'd be a very good game.
Because STC, Soutang Clan, had trouble scoring in the red zone, and Roadrunners can seemingly score from any place in any part of the field.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
if Soutang Clan gets behind, they're going to find this game very difficult.
All right, random thought here, Hunger Games, before we sign off with the games of the week.
Explain to the good people. It's my random thought, or I thought I got to ask you a question if I wanted to.
It's a random question or thought that you have for us before we sign off. Here.
So explain to them what days the playoffs are going to be, Mo. 'Cause
Man,
I asked
know
you
the
this
answer
off
to the
air.
question.
The playoffs begin July 24th, Sunday at Papineau and Lachine.
Lachine Head.
Oh, is that your random? Is that your question for
No,
us?
it's not a random question.
Oh, okay.
And a random thought is this: is a cheese sandwich an actual sandwich?
Yeah, it is.
It's grilled cheese sandwich.
No, not grilled cheese.
Just cheese sandwich?
Just cheese, like
Well,
without
then
it being
isn't that
pressed.
just a cold grilled cheese sandwich?
Yeah, it's
Or
horrible.
it's like an egg is to a chicken.
Yeah,
So is an egg a chicken, Mo?
I guess, sure.
So there we go. So it's an embryonic sandwich.
I agree.
Gorgonzola or mozzarella?
Cheddar. Yeah.
Okay. But I like some mild. Big
Nice.
mild guy.
All cheese matters.
All right, games of the week here. Let's go with the PZ and Hunger Games.
How many
Alright.
points are we?
You didn't say games of
All right,
the
sorry,
week.
my mistake. It's my mistake. And now for games of the week.
We've been doing this for fucking 9
I
minutes.
know.
I know, we're week 10. There we go.
So STC versus Jean-Guy. STC are 5.5 point favorites.
Hold on. What's the last part to it?
The 4 seed is up for grabs.
Thank you.
I think STC wins it, but I don't think they cover. Jean-Guy is a tough defense.
I think they will win SC, but they will not cover next.
In Independence Day Resurgence, the aliens will not be victorious, but I do think they'll cover the spread.
I think they win this game very easily.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, very easily.
Apparently, you weren't listening to Bill Paxton
No, SBB
or Bill Pullman.
and that
Look at
defense
it
looks
right.
good. Next.
Gronky Kong versus Victoria's Secret. Gronky Kong are 1.5 point favorites, and I never thought I'd see the day. Win and you're in.
Grunky Kong, I say they win and they beat the spread because that spread's tight.
I am going to take GK to win as well. By a point.
Ooh.
So they
They
won't
don't
cover?
Won't cover.
Ooh.
I don't think that'll be the case.
Last game.
Dirty Mike and the Boys. Versus
and Chill.
Jaggies and Chill.
Yes.
Damn. 4.5 point favorites are Jaggies and Chill. Win and you're in. Another scenario.
Jaggers and Chill win in and cover.
They will win, JNC. They will win, and they will take care of this game very easily.
So we agreed on all the picks. Terrible.
Pretty much.
Feel like the
Yes.
shot. God, so early. Please say 5.
I'll say 4.
God damn it.
4:30. The happy medium.
National anthem of 4:45. What did you learn in today's episode, guys?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Eagle?
I walked 10 kilometers to catch an invisible monster.
He's actually getting exercise.
I witnessed Eagle doing this. Good morning and good night.
Is it aluminum or aluminium?
Portugal.
Aluminium.
Aluminium.